strikingly powerful and potent new moon in Scorpio that can bring a lot of clarity, but also a lot of surprising and shocking information to the surface as it aligns with a very interesting Mercury cazimi, a very critical point in the Mercury retrograde cycle. I'm Alexander Creek, astrologer and intuitive. Welcome to my channel. Took a little time off. Now he's back. Just, got a little burned out. I needed to rest for a second. But we're going to talk about this new moon in Scorpio, the astrology around it, the what to expect along with a reading for your rising sign. And joining me today, I actually have a guest because I was like, I don't want to do this by myself. So this is my friend William. This is my friend astrologer William Holloway. He's the host of Orbitals Astrology as well as Astrology of the Unknown, which you can find anywhere you stream podcasts as well as right here on YouTube. And I invite you to check both of them out. I'm on a couple episodes of Orbitals and then the Astrology of the Unknown. If you like mysteries and true crime and astrology, it smashes them together in a way that's super, super cool. Welcome to my podcast, William.
Thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here. You've been on mine a few times, so I'm glad that we are getting to talk about this.
Absolutely.
Wild and new.
I know. There's so much going on with it. I was like, because we were briefly talking before I pressed the record button, and I'm like, okay, there's a lot of gas to this. And this is also coming on the heels of some stuff that I've talked about on my, during my new moon updates and what have you about stuff with the Epstein Files. Mm-hmm. And last week, everybody, we had a really critical point in the Mercury retrograde cycle, which was Mercury conjunct Mars, the planet of action, passion, but also the planet that you channel when you're taking a punch at someone. And those two were connected in the sky, and we got this sort of surprise. Not the actual Epstein Files itself, but a lot of juicy
emails.
Juicy emails, a lot of shocking, sometimes disgusting information that
Scorpionic, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were just talking about Scorpio being taboo information. Mm-hmm. And frankly, this new moon is going to bring through, I think, a lot of more shocking information. Mental images that I certainly don't need to have. I don't need to hear. I mean, I do want to know. Yeah. But I wasn't thinking about, Trump and Bill Clinton in the back of a limo until I read these. So you can, I'm not going to mention what that is, but y'all can check that out for yourself.
I think most people know at this point.
Yeah.
And the astrology around this is so interesting to me because it's like, okay, so stuff was revealed, right? If I'm going to be honest, I don't actually believe that Trump and Bill Clinton did that. I'm thinking it's probably like a joke or they're talking about somebody else. I mean, Ghislaine Maxwell's horse was named Bubba.
Oh, no, I did not know that.
Yeah. Just a side note.
Ew.
I know. Just to make it worse, right? Just to make it worse. But it made me wonder. I'm like, I don't know what I found interesting about it. Interesting, very bizarre, so weird. But because to me, I'm like, well, I don't actually believe these things happen. I'm not sure how many people did either, but the memes and just people loved talking about this. I mean, there was some real stuff that really needs to be talked about, but this other stuff kind of overshadowed it. And so I've been thinking about that in terms of retrograde,
Who was it? Did you see the, I think it was Pop Astrologist actually tweeted something about hey, remember when Elon Musk in June of this year essentially was like, hey, Trump is in the files when they were fighting. Yeah. I can't remember how that exactly ties into the retrograde or if that was just thematically tied in, but I also wonder what the astrology was around that as well. Essentially, but that was when they were beefing back in June.
Yeah.
And I was
When's the last time we had a retrograde? That's I need to know this off the top of my head and I don't.
But... I know. I need to actually, I probably should have actually looked up the chart before I brought it up, but I was but anyway, thematically, we all knew it would be a messy Mercury retrograde just because of how the astrology was set up. And it's definitely delivering with this new moon coming in. I was kind of thinking about this the other day, and I'm not going to make the Epstein Files the entirety of this new moon horoscope video, but I think it is really important. I was just thinking about, Scorpio representing the moon being in her fall in Scorpio, and Scorpio being these really uncomfortable topics, essentially, and the sudden transmission of this information that's of some sort of disturbing, shocking information that's going to come forward on this Mercury-Uranus opposition, which we'll talk about the exact time in just a minute. But I was thinking about how people are really not ready for the brutal reality of the content of these files and the vile acts that were committed within them.
Yeah.
And Scorpio kind of being about that, essentially, and just people not being ready for it. It was like this feeling that I was getting. It was like a lot of people are going to have a very kind of rude awakening, I think, connected to it, if that makes
I
sense.
think so too. And I
Yeah.
wonder what it's going to look like when we get to the full moon and we see in that Mercury Kazemi, when we see, I mean, this morning Trump said that he's requesting that they open the Epstein files, which is very odd
I
because
know.
that's going to
What is
incriminate him.
his game? I don't get it.
So I'm wondering if we're going to get like a very redacted, but so transparent, because the thing at this point, we're pretty clear. It's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
When they're referencing him in these files. So you can take his name, you can take your name out all day, but it's not gonna change.
Right. I feel like the truth, I hope that the truth comes out.
Me too.
And I do feel like that's going to happen. I just, yeah, I wonder what his game is with that, or if it's just some sort of desperate ploy to, I don't know. So
Yeah.
that tricky.
It's tricky.
Yes. So, okay, let's kind of break down. I'm going to pull up the chart actually. So here we have the new moon in Scorpio. So we have this new moon coming in about November 19th. That's going to be this Wednesday at about 11:45 p.m. Denver time. New moon energy, though, if you're looking to work with it magically, if you're going to work with it like energetically, that energy hangs around for a couple days. You don't need to worry about like missing it or not, but I do like to point out the exact time. So let's kind of start breaking this down. So we have new moon coming in right at the end of Scorpio at 28 degrees. We have that's happening right as Mercury is in the heart of the sun. We have this Mercury Kazemi. And just the day before, we actually have an exact opposition from Mercury to Uranus, the Great Awakener. And
Does
also
that come
kind of
on? Oh, sorry. Didn't
that
mean to interrupt.
that would be that Mercury Uranus opposition is coming through November 18th, so
18.
Tuesday. So tomorrow as of this recording. So given that we have this aspect, collectively is speaking to sudden surprising information dumps is what
Yeah,
I'm getting from it. So I guess
totally.
specifically talking about this Mercury Uranus, what sorts of things do you get with that? And
Well,
actually, go ahead.
mhm.
Go ahead.
No,
Go
what
ahead.
were you gonna say?
I was going to say this is also important to note as well because Mercury also will be freshly in Scorpio when this happens. So, on a very kind of mundane collective level, the Mercury retrograde cycle that we have been in since November 9th, is that when it went retrograde?
Mm-hmm.
That takes a sudden turn. And in some ways, after we get, once we get past this new moon, Mercury is a lot more stable. So, things connected to communication matters, to technology, to travel. And if you've been having sort of mishaps in those areas, that should start to stabilize because Mercury is stronger in Scorpio and it will be away from the kind of problematic Mars energy. But going back to the sort of sudden information dump. So what's your takeaway on that? Lots to talk about
Well,
there.
I was thinking, I was like, didn't we just get one of these? Which we did. We did
We
have
did.
but it was completely different signs, right? So we had, oh my God, I
Let me
wrote it
look.
down. We had a Mercury Uranus opposition on October 29th. But Uranus was in
Yes.
Gemini, opposite Mercury and Sag, and so I think about like that axis is very different than this axis. There was a major cyber attack on the U.S. power grid.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
and so I'm
And
not
that was
saying
that was connected to also that Mercury Mars conjunction as well, because
right.
it was the exact conjunction of those planets that there was like a robbery at the Louvre, right?
Yes, that's
Like we
right.
had like jewel thieves, and we had Mercury and Mars in these very kind of covert, sort of secretive signs.
Yeah,
But yeah, so then and then during that Mercury Uranus opposition, Mars is still close degree wise to them as well. So hence the attack kind of thing of
yeah,
what you were saying. I didn't know that actually.
yeah. I didn't know that till today when I looked it up. I was like, oh yeah, I
Nice.
remember that. I remember that. That thing worked that week, but online, like a lot of places were like down part way. partway down. Does that make sense? Like
Yeah.
partially down, partially.
Yes.
Like I know there were things at my job, my day job, that we couldn't access for a few days. So it was
Wow.
disruptive.
Okay.
And that's what
Um,
Uranus is. Uranus is disruption.
yes. Well, and it's interesting because
Friendship.
both planets will be in a different pair of signs because Uranus has gone retrograde since then too.
Yeah.
That's like it does feel like it's sort of wrapping up or there's like one more chapter to this Uranus and Taurus story.
Hmm.
And Uranus and Taurus, it's been in Taurus like relatively like roughly since like 2018.
Yeah.
Part of the things that Uranus and Taurus has brought us to, I think, are probably connected to currency and money,
Yeah.
since Taurus represents that, like, cryptocurrency and a lot
Right.
connected to it.
Uh,
Um,
yeah, cryptocurrency, and like in the time that Uranus was in Taurus, what's it called? Got really popular, like
Bitcoin?
cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Thank you. Yeah,
Bitcoin. Yeah.
yeah, and like to the
Yes.
point where like jobs are like offering, like if you do this, like we'll give you this many Bitcoins. I'm like, stop trying to give me Bitcoins. I don't
I
want it.
know. I'm not an early adopter by any measure.
No.
So I'm just like, so the information coming out, given that Mercury will be in Scorpio, a sign of taboo, a sign of these kind of, more shocking topics, it's probably going to be something connected to that. Maybe like secrets or information that people don't necessarily want out, I would think as well.
Yeah, or like I think about like the Uranus or not Uranus, sorry, Scorpio Taurus axis. And to
Mhm.
me, whenever I think about that axis, I think a lot about like class divide, like the rich versus the not rich. I don't want to say poor, but like the super rich person versus everyone else was their Taurus Scorpio. So I think there could be something related to that, something to do with
Yes.
like class, but then also, yeah, always shocking news, weird things related to money, like you said, maybe
Mhm.
even agriculturally,
Yeah.
something coming out about that, like farming.
Yes.
I don't know, like, um, yeah,
Yeah, and, on also, I do wanna mention, like, on a personal level, like, yeah, there's shocking news kind of worldwide around this time, and maybe disruptions connected to, Mercury-related things, which would be, like, technology and those kinds of things as well, even though Mercury's, I think, will be more stable kinda once it gets through this aspect. On a personal level, this is happening at the same degree as the full moon. I just kind of feel like this is getting very clear about something like in your
mhm,
in your life or some kind of information, whether that is external or something maybe even rising from your subconscious or something too, because this new moon in Scorpio being, I just feel like there's a lot of clarity to it. Whether it is actual tangible information or whether that is like your own kind of intuitive information, with Scorpio being a very kind of like gut feeling, psychic kind of sign,
yeah,
especially because it is in this grand water trine with Jupiter and Saturn and Neptune. There's a feeling of like, I just kind of know this is true, like in my gut, or I know it's true in my
right, like
heart or something.
emotional
Absolutely.
truth, yeah,
Yes. So yeah, but it's just something about surprising, sudden, shocking developments does feel like the main theme of this new moon. And also if we look beyond Mercury Uranus, if we even just talk about a new moon in Scorpio and kind of what that represents, a new moon is like a new cycle. It's a seed that's being planted. It can be like a new beginning, kind of somewhere in your chart, wherever Scorpio is for you. We'll talk about an example of that or how to work with that energy for your rising sign in just a little bit. But Scorpio is a very regenerative energy. This feels like a potent, regenerative healing
mhm,
time, I think, for some people,
yeah,
because we have support from these really, really big players in the sky. We have a trine to Jupiter, which is Jupiter does tend to be more hopeful, more optimistic. It's more
tends to
about,
be, and is a good
yeah,
one.
yeah, it tends to be, I think, and I guess what I meant by that is, it getting support from Jupiter and Saturn just kind of feels like if there maybe is like a new beginning around this time, it would maybe have a more of a quality that would tend to last or something that would kind of stand the test of time is sort of what I'm
Yes.
getting from it as well.
Yeah, I mean, as an example, I moved into my current house during like the beginning of I think it was an earth water trine. Earth water trine. That makes no sense. It was an Earth. It was a water trine. In what were the signs? Well, it's a water trine. Jesus, sorry.
That's okay. That's okay.
Duh. It was. That's right. Okay, I'm getting mixed up with another event. But anyway, so like it's like tied to the emotional investment in like this household, and so I mean that's even like, well, I won't say, but like I at one point there was even a password like Grand Water Trine.
Oh wow. Okay, cool. That's cool.
Yeah, so it's it became very much tied to my life with my partner and our home, and so yeah, it's like it's wrapped up in that investment, that emotional commitment, new beginnings. So yeah, I've seen some big life changes and new starts and things happening during during a water trine. I Because there's clarity around things. There's like you said, emotional clarity.
It's like the energy is just kind of unrestricted. There's no planet that's like really like a hard stop or making you like, there's no like hard aspect to Saturn or Mars, like where there's just like this delay I have to work through or this challenge I have
Yeah,
to work through. The trying to Saturn is like, okay, like have you thought about like what tools you want to help you build this? Like how are you going to make this sort of thing like a lasting foundation or something like that?
yeah, totally.
Also the most beyond this. Okay, so we talked about Mercury opposite Uranus. The new moon will be opposite Uranus then itself as well. So yes, the sudden developments, the surprising information. This new moon is also just really good for helping break through, for helping, okay, who am I talking to here? For helping you, helping someone, there's something about breakthroughs, or
Yeah,
breaking through limitations that you previously didn't really think that you could overcome. Um, Given that Uranus is a sign of disruption, of surprises, revolution, like great awakening. It's just there's just like this wild card energy to this full moon, or to this new moon, that just makes it feel pretty exciting.
yeah, I think it's really
Like
exciting. I mean, not all lunations are created equal, right? Like we know
right,
that. Not
yeah.
every, we have a new moon and a full moon every month, and some are bigger than others. This is certainly one of the bigger new moons
Yes.
of the year, for sure.
There was some new moon in Capricorn last year, and it was the only podcast I had skipped in 12 months at that point, because the only thing it was doing was like a sextile to Saturn, and I was like, you know what, you guys, I can't do this right
Well,
now.
that
This
might have
is
been right around when I stopped doing monthly horoscopes. There was something that
yeah.
came up. It was something like that. I was like, you know what?
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do this anymore.
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. I was like, what am I going to say about Saturn that I haven't already said? Like, I
Right.
just was like, y'all got this one. Trust me on this. It's not a magical transformation. It's change your life energy. This, but I would also, definitely looking at the topics of the Scorpio and Taurus part of your chart.
Mhm.
Uranus, coming in to finish its business in, doesn't it? I feel like it goes into Gemini in April. Does that sound right to you?
Yeah,
I think it does.
I think so.
So when it switches back into Gemini, I think it's mid-April. Let me look. Let me
Yeah.
look. When do you switch, you little shit? Yeah, about let's see. Okay, yes. Yep, like mid-April, or late to mid-April is kind of when that looks like it goes back into Gemini. So yeah, so April 25th, relatively speaking. So Uranus has just recently retrograded back into Taurus. So it is finishing up some kind of Uranus in Taurus story in your chart. So this will kind of highlight maybe what that is for you. Uranus being about change, being about uncomfortable change, being about where we need more freedom, where we have some sort of unusual information coming in that can kind of help this sort of, I really think Uranus is like a paradigm shifter. So especially if
Mhm.
you have, some sensitive points in Uranus, or excuse me, in Taurus, Scorpio, Aquarius, or Leo, you just might tend to feel this one a little bit more, particularly if they are in the later degrees of Taurus and Scorpio. So like late, because this is happening at 29 degrees, which is the end of a sign. It is kind of giving finale. Just 29
Yeah,
degrees being the end of a sign. So um
like an
any
emotional chapter ending or something.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, I also wanted to mention too, so I do want to mention the trine to Neptune. Um, I guess anything come to mind beyond
Trine to Neptune is kind of like feeling connected spiritually or
mhm,
like flowing with creativity,
yep,
sometimes. I think
for sure.
Neptune is different for everybody, a little different for some people
Yep,
it shows up in more like creative way, and then others it comes across like they're spiritual,
yep.
or esoteric, things related to like astrology, very
Yeah.
Neptunian.
There's a vibe to be caught during this new moon that is kind of hard to explain.
Yeah,
I do think this is also a good time if you are like more spiritually connected, meditating, talking to your guides, picking up a tarot card, divination, that
yeah,
kind of thing, I think could be really interesting. Seeing things that you couldn't see before is sort of the vibe that I kind of get here because like the veil feels like it's peeled back and we have this thing. It's like, oh, you're ready for this sudden information now. Like, hey, here is why um this you've always wondered about this trauma or how you can't process it or whatever. It's like it's those kind of it's I just feel like those kinds of things kind of rising to the surface. It sort of feels like it's it's gonna be different. It's gonna be different for everybody, but it's a very potent energy and just certainly a mystical kind of vibe.
yeah, totally. I'm not
Uh,
super
Go
into
ahead.
like manifesting, but I
Right.
feel like or just I think more the culture around it, but I do believe in it, and I
Yeah.
do because it's totally real. This is a really good time for that. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Absolutely. Also, last thing. So, traditionally, Scorpio is ruled by Mars. So, so Mars will be in Sagittarius during this lunation. So that kind of being a somewhat of a guide for this energy or the flavor of this kind of particular brand of Scorpio energy. Sagittarius, I feel like, is a truth teller. That's kind of the first thing
Mhm.
I get with it.
Yeah.
It is Sagittarius also is a Sagittarius being a mutable sign, also mutable, being adaptable, flexible. Like we're not going in this direction, I'm actually going to change this direction. We have many planets in Scorpio during this, so there is this feeling of like I'm getting to the bottom of something. But Mars and Sagittarius kind of ruling this new moon. It does make me feel like there is something about having courage, being able to kind
Mhm.
of go into a different direction, being able to, it's gonna kind of giving choose your own adventure,
Yeah, I was
kind
gonna
of
say
is.
adventure is a word I would use. There's an adventure quality to it. It doesn't mean that you're like physically necessarily going on one, but it can be. Yeah, I think of Mars and Sagittarius is related to adventure or exploration or going somewhere you've never been before, and that can be, you know, that can be a metaphor too, right? Like it doesn't have to
Uh-huh.
be literal.
It's like there's something about being unafraid to be a little messy, I feel, with this energy too. Especially because as we kind of go through the next couple days, Mars will be in a square with the north and south node as well. Um, you know, I would just it's sort of like no, I don't have anything else to say about it. I just like
You're like,
that's all I get. That's all I get.
yeah,
But it
here.
does kind of break up that super, super intense kind of Scorpio energy because its guide is kind of pointing us into some sort of new directions. But that's all I have to
Yeah,
say
new
about that.
directions, places we've never been. Yeah.
Yep, yep. So, anything else before we start talking about what's coming up for the signs?
Let me see. I feel like we pretty much covered it.
I think we
Yeah,
did
I
too.
just think it's important to like emphasize that not all lunations are created equally.
Hmm.
This is one of those that like you'll be out and about on the Wednesday that this happens, and you'll hear people that aren't astrologers saying, "Is it a full moon or something? Like, what is going
Yeah,
on?" It's like
a
one
pe-
of those.
100%. Is it a full moon? Is Mercury in retrograde?
Yeah,
All those kinds of things, and actually, they are going to be right this time
and they'll be right this
about
time. Yeah,
it's
sometimes
actually
they
it's
are.
actually a new moon
Yeah.
and Mercury is retrograde, but that's just part of it. So, yeah, because again, like not all Mercury retrogrades are created equally either. This one is just particularly has been particularly messy and important. I think.
Yeah, a little side note about retrograde. I tested it I normally don't get a haircut during Mercury retrograde, and I got a haircut during retrograde, and I was totally fine with it.
Okay, good.
So I don't know. That just felt like a big deal. Like,
Yeah.
again, like, we tell people not to do certain things. It's like, as long as your intention, I don't know, maybe don't try new things. I don't know.
Yeah.
During retrograde, I don't even know if I believe any of that either. Cause like,
Yeah.
it's all about intention. And it's also about like, how is it affecting your chart?
Yeah, like there are certain things like frankly, I had like a tax thing I had to send in and I was like,
Mm.
I'm gonna wait till Mercury goes direct because this one is
Oh, definitely
giving
mail. Oh, geez.
right. Mail communications, important I was just like, this one is sensitive. And I was like, I'm gonna wait till Mercury gets into Scorpio at least and away from Mars
Mhm.
because I would, because I was thinking Mercury and Mars together, it just felt more troublesome and problematic. And my sister, who's Virgo rising, called me the other night because she's like, my car broke down. My date canceled on me, but then I misinterpreted. She didn't cancel on me. I was like, you are complete. And she's into astrology enough, but I was like, I'm not going to mention this is very Mercury retrograde
Yeah.
in your
Because
chart,
when
especially
people are
because
in the
it's
middle of it, yeah.
I'm not going to astrologize to you in the middle of your crisis, but I can see
Yeah.
what things that you did because you hurried and misread a text. Mercury Mars being about engine problems. It's angular in her chart. And I was just like, I'm not going to say shit. That's not going to help. I'm just going to be
Yeah.
here and say, I'm sorry, that sucks. So,
Yeah. That's all you can do sometimes.
yes. So, okay. Before we begin and we do little mini readings for each of the 12 rising signs, William, where can people find you if they wanted to book a reading with you or if they want to listen to one of your podcasts?
Yeah. So if you want to book a reading with me, my website is williamhollowayastrology.com. Um, so Holloway's Holloway, the way it's spelled in most places. And then you can find the podcast there, but you can also find them streaming on YouTube or wherever podcasts are found. The astrology podcast Orbitals tends to be a little bit more on just the audio side. I don't always post videos, but the true crime one, I feel it's important to always post a video so we can look at the crime chart. I want to make sure I let people know though that you don't have to know a lot about astrology, especially for the true crime one. I make sure of that. That we don't even talk about astrology the first half of it. We're just telling the story of what happened. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and it's gaining a little following, and I'm happy about it. So
Yes.
yeah.
Well, I listened to the Amy Bradley one, and that one,
Mm,
and I had just watched the documentary on Netflix, and your episode had more information in it that wasn't in the documentary, and I was fascinated how everything tied together, and it was just really
yeah.
fucking good. It was really juicy. I was like, this is a fucking vibe. So please
Yeah.
go listen to it. If you have eighth house placements, go check it out. You
Yeah.
know, so
Totally. Well, there just was an update on Amy Bradley
no way,
yesterday. So
really.
I need to record some kind of update. Yeah, it sounds like that police. Anyway, I don't want to take it away from. But anyway, I'll record. But it sounds like they're looking
Please,
at the possibility that the police may have been involved. Which
wow.
I know I said something about that, but I don't
Did
know if
you?
I'll have to go back. I don't know if I cut it out because I might have been like, I don't know if that's relevant. You know how you do that? You're like,
Yeah, yeah,
you
yeah,
say
yeah.
the thing that's not the most relevant, you cut it out because you didn't think at the time it was. So
Yep.
I don't know if I cut that out, but I did say that the police were probably involved, and it's sounding like
Okay.
it. Yeah.
I kind of
Anyway,
want to go back and like re-listen because that's like, okay, that's
it's a
nuts. All right.
wild story. Yeah.
Um, I'm going to be doing a discount on year ahead readings, which I do every year. You can book that on my website at docstarOracle.com. I think there will be a link in the show notes that will take you to where you need to go. So just check that out. And you can always book a session with me at Darkstar Oracle and find me on all my platforms. So yay. All right, let's go ahead and let's just pause this for one moment and then we'll get right
Yeah.
back into it.
You know what?
So we've reached the reading for the signs section of the podcast. You can definitely just click on the timestamp for your rising sign. If you do not know your rising sign or you don't have an accurate birth time, you can certainly listen for your sun or your moon. However, the rising sign is probably going to be the most accurate. You can feel free to like blend the sun or the moon with the rising sign if you want, but just FYI. And then also if you're listening to the audio version of this podcast, the timestamps will be in the show notes as well, so you can just zoom forward to find where you need to go. So let's talk about this new moon in Scorpio for Aries, Aries rising. We have the new moon in their eighth house. Yeah. Which and the ruling planet would be Mars and Sag. So yeah, a lot of 8th and 2nd house activations here for Aries. So
yeah, so like stuff related to, I often not just like the banks and stuff, but I also think of like the institution that you get paid from, like not necessarily your job, but like your paycheck. So sometimes
yeah,
that can be 8th house. Um, just all of those, like, inheritances,
yes,
things that like documentation.
yep.
Yeah.
It's giving it is giving a new perspective on something, new information, a new beginning connected to 8th house matters, which can be financial,
Can be.
that can be
Or like
taxes,
shared
inheritance.
resources too.
Yes, shared you and a partner. It also, so there's that money component, so tax, inheritance, credit, investments, things connected to that. It can also be like new ways on how to, where's the bag, new information on how to get that bag to you. It's like, oh, turns out I could refinance this and kind of move some things around over here. It's kind of giving tactical information connected to that,
Mm,
possibly.
yeah, that's true.
um it could be new. It also could, there is that psychological, spiritual component of the 9th house, or of the 8th house too, which is like deep emotion, buried trauma, like new connection to that. Not saying that like, oh, I would have more buried trauma. It's just like maybe sudden information connected to why we always have a fear around X or Y. That's kind of what I get with that too.
Yeah, our attachment to those things.
Totally.
Yeah, because that is
And
something
again,
very
like,
8th house. Our
go
emotional
ahead.
attachment to things, I feel, can be very 8th house.
Yes. And also, like you said too, this could be partner money, partner relationship dynamics stuff.
Yeah.
I also would say too, the 8th and 9th both have these sort of spirit. Well, the 9th has more of the spiritual implications. 8th house is a psychic, spooky place. This kind of giving, I would pay attention to your dreams if you're kind of
Yes.
a vivid dreamer during this new moon for you, Aries rising, as well, because there's information that you might need to know from that,
Yeah,
So, um,
absolutely.
okay. All right, let's zoom out. Then we'll go to Taurus rising. Taurus rising, new moon, 7th house of partnership. I'll let you spiel this one and we'll
Oh,
kind of go
sure.
back and forth.
Sure.
Oh, you are Taurus rising
I
anyway,
am a
aren't you?
Taurus rising,
Okay.
yeah. So us Taurus risings can probably expect new things related to our relationships, new endeavors there, new chapters there, communication with partners. I feel like 7th house isn't just like, it's all the people that you're closest with, right? So I've seen stuff with
Yeah.
like my family even show up, like relationships within my family still show up in the 7th house. And also, your partner, also like partnerships, like that can be like people you work with,
Yeah,
um
absolutely. I
like
was
that
just
you
going to say
have some.
job stuff can be, I feel
Yeah,
like sometimes too.
but like not necessarily just your like coworkers that you like pass in the hallway. That's very 6th
Yep.
house. But
Yep.
like 7th house is like people you work on projects with, that you have
Yep.
relationships with the work, like the people that are like, this is my work wife,
I was
potentially.
going to say work wife.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
totally. So yeah, like it's just giving, but with Mercury, the Kazemi, though, yeah, like I would say expect some kind of announcement, or like some information, some new information, or like a new announcement around something related to your partnerships. It might not even be related to you. It could be something happening to one of your close friends or close people in your life.
Yeah. That's always an important thing. It shifted a lot for me when like my astrology chart is also about other people in my
Yeah.
life, or just that it doesn't have to be things just happening to me all the time. This could be, yeah, your partner getting some surprising information. The new moon of Scorpio may also be an initiation for you to take things sort of more deeply in your relationships as well,
Yes.
and connect in a way that's, because we have Venus and Scorpio too. So getting deeper emotionally, and what else was I gonna say? Also note Taurus rising too. Uranus has shifted back into your first house of
Yeah.
self, identity, physical body, your essence, for several months. So this can kind of you may want to think about how you've evolved and shifted since 2018, but also just like, hey, this could give you a little bit more information on kind of what's wrapping up with that storyline as well.
Yeah, and I think something I'll say as a Taurus rising, I think that's something that Taurus risings deal with often is like, I don't want to say body image issues, but I want to say like always feeling they have to like working on themselves, working on their body is like an ongoing project. And I want to say that like with Uranus and Taurus, for a lot of other Taurus risings I've seen, like they got more like took charge of like doing things with their body or like their health or things like that. Yeah, and I wonder if this is just like a lot of this will be like a reminder of like what we work so hard on. Like, don't let that go. You know, like that can be something.
Taurus risings, let me know in the comments, I guess, how you resonate with that, because that is interesting. So okay. Let's move on to Gemini. Gemini, the new moon is falling in your 6th house. So this is, this can be something new relating to health, to your health routines and health practices, to physical body health, as well as your job, coworkers, your work grind, your work routine. Something related to pets as well can also fall in here too. This can also be sudden information connected to those topics as well. It can be sudden information relating to like, this is why turns out I'm allergic to tomatoes. Fuck, I didn't know that. Or, I get, so information related to a job. It also could just be disruptions, like information, like disruptions kind of within your work as well. This is a good time if you're wanting something new connected to your work to start, getting new information or putting maybe applications out there or something like that. There's information connected to newness here. And, especially if we're talking about job stuff, the ruler Mars is going to be in your 7th house of partnership. It's kind of shaking up relationships a little bit too.
Maybe
that is
that coworker that you pass in the hallway becomes closer to you after they're no longer just that random person walking down the hallway. You have a conversation and it's important. I don't know.
Well, and also just like that theme of hidden information coming to light is going to be probably connected to those topics that we talked about within the 6th house. And especially just because 6th house and 12th house, they're considered sort of dark houses. Not dark as an evil, but just there's less light in them. And they're, a little bit super not fun topics, but
they're not necessarily joyous, but that doesn't mean it's bad. They're just not like celebratory.
But it's like that light kind of coming in and like that hidden information kind of coming to light definitely kind of feels pretty potent. So I've said potent a lot. I need to stop saying potent. No more potent for me.
I get stuck on certain words when they say them over and over, and then I get called out. So I get it.
Yeah, and I'm like, sorry, whatever. Get over it. So Cancer rising, got the new moon in the 5th.
Right. So this could be related to, well, first off, you've got Jupiter in your 1st house, which you've had for the last year or so. And it's, making kind of a loose aspect at that, on the 19th but it will be trining eventually. But anyway, this 5th house, this could be related to your hobbies. This could be related to your passions. This could be related to some kind of game. Like if you're into games, if you're into sports. I don't know.
Absolutely.
I always feel like I have to include sports because I'm not into sports. But
you're like, I guess sports. Sure. Yes.
There's also like, I've been finding more and more, the 5th house is very much like related to gambling, so it's related to chance and randomness. So I'd be interested to see how many Cancer risings just have some random kind of memorable things that happen. But at the same time, this is like new information, new chapters and related to all those topics.
If we're talking about creativity as well, because creation and creativity and passion are 5th house, and there's a feeling of passion with Scorpio getting deeper. And if we're talking about if we're talking about like manifesting, creating a new thing in your life, the fifth house, I think, is kind of where it springs from, because it's sort of where we give birth, because it relates to pregnancy and children. There is a feeling of sitting with, what do you want to create in your life? Or if you're stuck on some kind of creative project, this can give you like a surprising twist or take on a creative project, kind of where you want to take it, and sort of really kind of listening to the universe. Um, and also when it comes to romance, like if we're just talking about like dating, romance, if we're single, we're like looking to date, like, not that I'm like trying to, I always like to include it, because when I'm single, I'm like, what, Scorpio rising, when's that happening? This can definitely, I mean, we have Venus here as well, planet of like love, beauty, relationships. So this can be a time maybe when we have a surprising connection with someone that actually feels kind of deep, and that we have this sort of thing that we just didn't really see coming. Or some kind of surprising development within your romantic life, like in general. But you have some really interesting, juicy things there. And I'm glad that you brought up Jupiter and Cancer, because it's been there since June for Cancer rising. And it is a key kind of player in this. So, I would say at the very least, like, let's journal a little bit. Let's write down our feelings.
And I wonder how many people, Cancer risings, are going to become grandparents.
Oh, I know.
Like, it just feels, do you know what I mean? Like, it feels connected. Like, it feels like your children. It just feels more related to like something happening to your children, not having children. Yes. But like your children having children, or I don't know, announcing that you're going to be a grandparent. I don't know. I feel like
that's a great point, especially. Go ahead.
No, I'm sorry.
It was it's like, and again, that surprising element. It's like, oh, we didn't really see that coming, but here's the surprising. My kid is having a baby. What the hell? That's crazy. I'm not. So, so good points. Good points. Leo, new moon in Leo. We have your new moon is going to be in the fourth house. So all things connected to home, family, your private secluded spaces, things connected to ancestors and roots. So this could certainly be surprising information about your family. It could be about your parents. This could be information connected to your home, where it's like, oh, we have to, like, hey, actually, I don't even really know like a hypothetical, but it would be surprising information connected to home. Or it could be like, hey, have we thought about like moving to Jamaica or like some random country? That's kind of like the feeling. It's like, we could, are we settled here? Do we want to go somewhere else? Like, it could be something like that. Just, I'm throwing out like a random hypothetical, because Mercury Uranus is just shocking, sudden, unexpected. But it's, so things connected to home and family. This new moon we could bring in like a career element with it too, something with a career and profession, because this new moon is going to be opposite Uranus in your 10th house of career, of your public reputation. So could be about how you're defining yourself there. But there's, and given that this new moon is angular, it's in an angular place in your chart, it does feel like a little bit louder. What else? Do you get anything else? I'm struggling with this one.
This feels specific, but I just feel like this is a thing that so many people do on a regular basis. This feels like also you could be putting money into your house and having to like sign some stuff, or like hire people to like do some work on your home, or you might be having someone else move in to your house. Like, this could be a new chapter of like, oh, wow, that's crazy. Actually, I know. Are we talking Leo rising? You said Leo rising? Yeah. I know Leo rising had a new roommate just move in today.
Oh, that's funny. Okay. Yeah. That's actually really funny. I will say this can be a more private new moon for Leo rising, because the fourth house is pretty private. It's pretty secluded. This could just be a more introverted, kind of deep sort of new moon for you too. This could be a time also, because it is Scorpio, communing with your dead ancestors, ancestor offerings, ancestor healing, that kind of thing. Or, like receiving messages from them, or just something connected to that, because fourth house is one of those places that's more of it can be a spooky place, especially connected to ancestors. So that feels important as well. So, yeah. All right, moving right along. Virgo rising, new moon in the third house. Okay, well, speaking of surprising information, it's literally, that's quite interesting. Okay, so Mercury being Virgo's ruling planet, and one of the main aspects being this Mercury-Uranus opposition, it does kind of feel like it could be some surprising sudden information dump literally in your correspondences.
Mm-hmm.
It could be things connected to siblings as well. The people that kind of like the general people around you in your, the people like around you in your life. It just kind of feels like a secret coming out almost
Yeah.
is sort of what it feels like, you know?
Yeah, and third house also, I think of the internet and podcasts and like all the ways we communicate. Newspapers,
Yep.
writers are very third house. So yeah, like I wonder which Virgo risings are going to be like releasing some secrets or talking some truth around
Totally.
this time.
It also does feel like also just like, even if it's not personal, stumbling upon a really important piece of information that you do just get from a podcast that like really sticks with you, that like this
Mm.
for a podcast and just like this totally changed thing, how like I'm gonna do these protocols for like the next couple months or something. That's also kind of what I'm kind of thinking it could be as well. Or
Yeah.
also just like deep sharing with someone that like triggers like an aha moment as well, just because third house just being the talking and correspondence, or
Yeah,
things
and
that would
returning
maybe
to
come up connected to travel as well, like your day trips and what have you, because third house is travel. It also could be like excitement around some kind of new project or new communications project that we're doing too, of like um like I just like I found like this piece that I was looking for, and I'm going back because Mercury's still retrograde, so maybe we're revisiting some kind of old project that, but there's like a
Mm.
spark connected to it as well, you know.
Right. Something that you thought wasn't there is there, or maybe.
Like, yeah, yes, so like my mom is doing some hypnosis therapy for
Mm.
some health issue, and this like, and she sort of keeps stumbling upon new information and just like, wow, I didn't realize that this trauma is connected to that. I kind of wonder if that's a big moment, because she's Virgo rising, so like
Okay.
a big moment of like, oh, like the big aha moment is I think connected to this new moon energy. It feels like
Yeah.
so. And it's also connected to, like, it's connected to like the way that you believe, like what you believe, your worldview, because it is opposite Uranus in that ninth house.
Right.
So
Yeah, this
um
information could affect your worldview, right? Like it could
mhm,
change the way you see the world.
yeah. Okay, cool. That's I
Mhm.
kind of word vomited that one, but I was like, that's right there.
Yeah, it's right
So
there.
Libra rising. Okay, we got new moon in the your money sector.
Yeah.
I'll let you
Sure.
yabber on with this first.
Sure. So in the money, possessions, values, there could be a new endeavor financially. You might have started a new job recently, and that, or a new financial endeavor. So I could see something like that coming up in your second house. Um, making a new purchase too, even, or even
Mhm.
it just feels it's related to possessions. It's related to what you value. So new chapters related to those
Mhm.
topics. Those are the.
I've seen it also just be your livelihood, like not your job
Mm,
itself, but like your sources of income,
yeah.
like it's like, hey, it's things connected, like, yeah, like money and worth. Venus there can help you get money if you are looking for more money, or if you are looking to spend money. It's also like, hey, let's have a little fun.
Hmm.
But it also could be stumbling upon maybe a new method of money making, or something connected to money and possessions that wasn't there before, or something like that. Or maybe
Yeah,
realizing like, hey, I should be charging more, or I have this other service that I need to provide, or something like that.
totally.
Okay, and Libra rising, I do want to mention it is trine Jupiter. Jupiter is expansion, success, what have you. It's in your 10th house of career right now. It's going to be there until June of 2026. So maybe it's like I have a friend that's a psychic medium, and she's always pretty booked, but late, she's like, I really want to kind of expand my following. So she's doing a ton of like TikTok lives like every day. This woman's a Scorpio moon, so she's like very, very committed. And
Yeah,
this could be like, I might get a text from her and be like, oh, I got a bunch of new clients from it. Like, this is awesome. So
yeah,
something like that. It could be
something
something
like
that
that.
may pay off suddenly.
Right. I like that payoff. Yeah. And especially with that Jupiter involved. I mean, that's like that takes the Scorpio stuff and makes it a little bit more digest.
Yeah, I was gonna say palatable. It was
Yeah.
actually like the word that came to mind. So good one. All right, Scorpio rising, new moon in our first house. So this is a new moon in our sign. So Scorpio, this would be your kind of yearly like new beginning, essentially. I mean, and this would be directly connected to your identity. To the first house is not just identity in the masculine, but it's also how you get to where you're going in your life, or it's the style in which you're. If your chart is a ship, like the ancients like to kind of liken it to, it is how you get to your destination. So this may, this may give you some surprising new information upon like about how you get to your destination, how you get to your life's purpose, or just how you live your life. And so this would be a new beginning. This as this might be also like a good time to maybe like play with like appearance a little bit, or kind of what you're wearing, because we have Venus, planet beauty, in we have Venus planet beauty in our first house as well. But there's just some sort of like new way of doing things, new information, new ways to look at the world. Maybe looking at also relationships as well. How we've shifted since Uranus has been in our seventh house of partnership, or new information that is connected to partnerships, because Mercury and Uranus is going across the first and seventh house. You have anything to add? I was just like, here we go.
No, I think that's pretty good. Yeah.
It is. It's trying Jupiter in that ninth house. Worldview, beliefs, spirituality. There's something I think a little inspirational about this new moon. I mean, inspirational is not really a Scorpio word, but there is that added kind of Jupiter element with inspirational.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I just feel like keep those bitches guessing, Scorpio. That's kind of what I get. It's like, oh, you thought one thing, I'm doing this other thing now, huh? I'm not so predictable anymore. So that's kind of what it's giving to me. And yeah, and I also, the ruling planet being Mars and Sagittarius, there might be things connected to money and worth, or like needing to earn income or something kind of on top of it. That might be kind of layered in this story. But yeah, Scorpio, you do seem like a central figure. Again, new beginning. It kind of feels like you're going to keep people, you may surprise yourself, you're going to surprise other people, essentially, with this new information that you uncover, or new information that you are now ready to present the world with. So that's what I got. We're going to keep it cryptic for Scorpio. So Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
Yes. Good luck with this 12th house one. I'll let you start.
All right, I'll start. So this is all about your 12th house. And well, also there's a connection between your 12th house and your 4th house. So with that Neptune, Saturn, and North Node, for some reason I was looking at it backwards and I almost said South Node. And so this is this feels very, whenever there's a connection between the 12th and the 4th, I think about like foundational stuff, the stereotype of like, go meditate, think about it, like you'll have some kind of revelation, but you will. That this is like actively, you've got Mars in your first house, so it kind of feels like this is like an active, passive, actively passive, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
To like go inward, and see what you find.
Because I wonder if Sagittarius has been busy, not necessarily even wanting to, but with Mercury retrograde in your sign up until the 18th, it's been like busy, maybe handling things that are just on fire, or you maybe are in some kind of life review and you're like, fuck all y'all, I'm doing what I want, and or I'm revisiting my dreams or something. But yeah, this 12th house new moon is like, okay, let me go inward, and get very centered, or like things have been so busy on the outside, I need to take a second for quiet and retreat,
Yeah. I mean, that's the big thing with this one, is like, it's about internal stuff. And meditate. However, whatever you do to like center yourself. Not everyone wants to meditate. There are all kinds of ways to.
Yeah. This is kind of giving go for a hike, go outside, go for a walk, have some like alone time in your room. I meditated in my closet because my cats couldn't stop meowing the other day. And I was like, honestly, not every 12th house experience is a bad one. This is really lovely. I might meditate in there more because it was so dark and so quiet. So it's also kind of giving the missing piece. Like, here is what you are not seeing. The universe kind of giving you this missing piece of information or what you need to know and something like that. It's just the universe needs you to sit down and like shut up for like 5 seconds. Is it's kind of
that's good advice for Sagittarius.
Yes, yeah. I think it is too. Capricorn rising, the new moon will be falling in your Capricorn rising, new moon's gonna be falling in your 11th house. Yeah, I forgot to put up the chart. I was going to put the chart for this, but whatever. New moon's going to be falling in your 11th house. So this could be interesting. You know, the 11th house relates to your goals and wishes for the future. Your friends, your social group, kind of like networking things.
People, like if you're an artist or something, like you could think about like your community of artists or like a collective, right? Like things happening. People that have a common
interest.
Does
also... I gotta say, as when I'm looking at this, the 6 of Wands, the victory card, flashed in my brain. Okay. And not to be like this message is for blah, blah, blah of you, but sometimes I feel like when I do these readings, you are kind of channeling for a group of people. I kind of really want Capricorn risings to pay attention to their alliances, because there is a feeling about like sharing resources, tactical victory, like aligning with people who share your interests. Because we have Venus there, like wanting to make connections. It's in Scorpio, so it feels kind of tactical. I just kind of want to say maybe you align yourself with someone that you didn't really see before, or there's like, you know, something about a connection or a friendship or a networking thing that yields some kind of like interesting kind of positive result for you that you didn't see there before. There's some kind of twist to it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. Yeah, like a twist to it.
Yeah. And also there is a feeling, get this many planets in Scorpio, it's about also focusing on what you want as well. You know, given those goals, and I see the 11th house is like, what are you wanting to manifest, I guess?
Yeah,
kind
totally.
of, you know.
It is. It's part of it, yeah. I love that. I think that makes a lot of sense. Yeah.
Okay, Capricorn rising. Great. Yeah, moving on.
Good for I wish I was a Capricorn rising right now.
I know, actually, like, because the 11th house is like traditionally a more positive place.
It is. In the chart. When I think about really great 11th house experiences, I think about like when I lived in Baltimore, going to like some kind of community event and like the weather is perfect and you're like running into everybody you know and some amazing performances happening on stage and you're experiencing it all together with like, you know, these people. And I don't know, that feels very 11th house. So, yeah, maybe there'll be some kind of activity for Capricorn rising where like a revelation or something.
And also, I do want to notice too, Capricorn, you have Jupiter in your 7th house of partnership. There's something about connecting with people with partnerships and alliances that do feel beneficial. Perhaps you're rethinking them with Jupiter retrograde and with this Mercury retrograde, but it's like you're making something out of this that I think is really interesting. So, Aquarius rising. Oops, nope. Days in the future. That's not what we want. Hold on.
So rising.
Yes. Oh, 10th house. Okay. 10th house. Yes.
So career related, or just like very, what are other things besides career do you associate with the 10th house? It's very public facing. It can be like something that's noticed.
Public reputation. Yeah. I was going to say the thing I had was like, it feels like it's very noticed. Whatever's going on, it feels like it's very public.
Yeah.
But, you know, maybe because it's a new moon. I mean, it's like this little bit of light that's sort of just beginning. I do want to say first, like the Mercury Uranus opposition Cazimi, maybe you get information about your career path and aspirations that you just didn't see before. That's also part of it as well. That can lead to some kind of new beginning. That can also connect to family and home though too, as well, with that connection to Uranus. But yeah, like 10th house is like how the world sees you. It's like what your reputation, you know?
Yeah, your reputation. So yeah, it can be anything from like a promotion or like a new job offer to something in the public, something that's like noticed by other people, some kind of new chapter that others are witness to.
Yeah.
So that's why I say things like, promotion, because you announce it, something you're like, oh my God, everybody, I just got this, whatever that is.
And also you do have Aquarius rising, you do have Jupiter moving through your 6th house. That is expansion and connected to job and health. So if this does come back to career for you, this might be a good time to be like, there's some kind of new beginning connected to work and career. Jupiter's retrograde, so maybe you're like reconsolidating something or rethinking or reviewing something. But I wouldn't say just because Jupiter's retrograde doesn't mean it's not a good time for new things for you too. Yeah, so that one's kind of interesting. Also, your Saturn is in your 2nd house of money. So like there's just like a lot of money career things kind of flowing through for you. But it may be like, hey, I didn't think I was going to get an interview at this place. And all of a sudden I got a message on LinkedIn. They want to do an interview. It's something,
Right.
It's maybe something connected to that, or you're linked up with the right person or mentor that you need to be linked up with.
Yeah. I like that.
Pisces, last one, new moon in the 9th house. That's
very spiritual.
That's kind of a gorgeous little new moon, I feel like. Because 9th house being about, so new things connected to, sudden information on, clarity on, topics connected to beliefs, spirituality, education, specifically higher education, travel, cultures, or people from sort of outside your like general area.
Yeah.
It's, maybe there's like a surprising sort of information dump or something connected to it.
It's also like deep thoughts, right? Like you think of like worldview, but like bigger than that. Like it's like all of your core belief systems, what you really believe of how the world really is or whatever. So that could change or grow or be, could it be affected by this?
It definitely is just giving general aha moments.
Yeah.
Like what rising, like Aries rising, I would say visions and dreams are connected to the 9th house. So I would pay attention to your dreams as well. This could be a more just straight up spiritual new moon. This could be good for divination, I think, as well. Getting insight, clarity from your tarot card pulls or your meditations or something, I think could definitely come in here. It does generally kind of feel like a creative new moon too, because we have that trine to Jupiter in your 5th house of creativity. And that trine to Neptune in your 1st house as well. Neptune, spirituality and mysticism. So
it's very inspired, very inspired.
And like you're really kind of getting the core emotional truth of something is what it feels like to me. It's like, this is why these things happen in my life, because X or Y. It's because of that. It's what it feels like. So okay, we did it. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
And that, you know what? That was a tight hour and 15. So not too bad.
Good. We were able to do that and then more. That was great.
Yes. So thanks again. William, thanks again for being on and chatting with me. I feel this is less laborious because I was just like, my ass needs to talk to someone. I got Mercury and Gemini. I need to. Do you have Mercury and Virgo? I forgot what your Mercury is. Libra. Okay. Yeah. Yes. Oh, that's nice. Yes.
Yeah. But it's sextile Venus. And because I have a lot of stuff on the oh, right. That's right. I think we talked about that.
Yes. So yes.
I do better talking to other people in settings like this than as to talking to the ether. Like I just.
Yeah. Same. Okay. And will you give me your socials again, just for everybody, so they can go find you?
Yes. William Holloway, astrology.com is my website. I'm on Instagram. I post, that's my main social media, and that's William.Stanley.Holloway, because I didn't want to put any numbers in there. And I was like, well, if I put my full name, no one else has that. And so that's the only reason there. But people will say to me like, oh, it's William Stanley Holloway. I'm like, I don't want to be addressed that way per se. I just,
It's just the meta thing. Okay, awesome. And y'all can find me at darkstarOracle.com, at darkstarOracle on all socials, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. And make sure that you're subscribed to the channel. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you're feeling this new moon energy. And I will see you for the full moon in Gemini. Gemini. Okay. I had to think about that one. Yes. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Talk to y'all soon. Thank you.